Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Three Ranger Bros Studios. It's been a hot moment since we uploaded a video, but we are now back in full swing, uploading every single Tuesday, a couple of Fridays here and there, and with shorts sprinkled amongst the videos. And of course, that means we are in 2026, so we do hope everyone had a fantastic Christmas and a fantastic New Year. Do let us know in the comments down below how things went down with you for the Christmas holidays. And so far, how's the new year going for you guys? Today's video is actually a part 2 to our very first video. I shall leave the comment on screen, but we actually had a comment requesting a part 2. Our very first video on this channel was myself and Cosplay Dude, where we actually gave the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger members students from other Power Ranger teams. Now, this was kind of the idea because we know that Tommy Oliver becomes the mentor to the Dino Thunder Rangers, and he's part of the MMPR team. So we took the other 5 original members and we gave each one a Ranger team or an individual Ranger and made them a mentor. And we kind of went down the ideas of how they would work together, what could they teach their student, and things like that. So we got requested to do a part 2 because obviously MMPR has 2 forms of their team, as the black, the red, and the yellow and pink all get swapped out for alternative characters later down the line. So in this video, we'll be doing the 4 alternative characters in MMPR and giving them students. This time around, we haven't gone for teams. We've just given each one a single individual ranger from a different ranger team. Do let us know who you would give: Rocky, Adam, Kat, and Aisha. And with that being said, thank you for the request. We do take requests for future videos. If you guys like a video on a part 2, or for us to do it again but with a twist, do let us know in comments and we'll do our best to do so. With that being said, let's dive in. Okay, let's go and get the awkward out the way. Let's go with Rocky first, because you don't want to talk about Rocky. I particularly don't want to do Rocky. Want to just get him out of the way, innit?
I knew you were going to go with Rocky first. Okay, so for Rocky, my least favorite Ranger of all time, I went with Devin Daniels, Beast Morpher Red Ranger. I felt like they would be a good combo because, Rocky was, kind of the secondary Red Ranger, where Devin, not the secondary Red Ranger, but he was kind of thrown into the position. He wasn't, meant to be the Red Ranger. I felt like Rocky could definitely jive with him like that way. And Rocky is a little bit more disciplined than Devin is. So I feel like he could train him on how to be, a little bit more disciplined, more humble, and just good overall traits as a true leader.
And also, if you think about it, Devon's got the whole thing of, not feeling like a leader because he's got the commander. His dad's like always shunning him, and Rocky was never the leader of his own team when he's a Red Ranger. So I guess they have that kind of in common. So Rocky could give him some tips. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's a good choice. I feel like when it comes to the way that you explained it, I think it also worked well with Scott, RPM Red as well.
Yeah.
Because Devon and Scott have a lot of similarities in that sense. But yeah, Devon's a good shout, to be fair. I'm glad you went with someone a bit more later, because I've done that with 2 choices, because I didn't want... 2 of my choices are quite close to MMPR, where 2 of my choices are way ahead. So I'm glad I'm not the only one who went like that sort of thought pattern either. Other Ranger teams exist, so...
They do? No way.
Okay, so my choice for Rocky is gonna make you laugh. Because how do I put this nicely? I kind of wanted to be a massive dick, but I also thinking about it, I kind of see this kind of working. Um, why can't Rocky mentor Justin?
I mean, fair. That's a fair shout.
Turbo Blue,
I mean,
like, come
he
on,
literally takes
he's
Justin takes his place. So I mean, that's
Justin takes his place, and Rocky's literally in an episode, then fucks off. We never see him again. Rocky could mentor Justin how to be a ranger, especially in those moments where it's just Justin fighting the bad guys, which we do see in Turbo. He is thrown in moments where it is just him. Yeah, okay, he's a kid, which sure a lot of people have issues with, but I kind of like the idea of having a kid as a ranger because Shazam, Robin, Kid Flash. There's several moments where we do have anyone under the age of like 15 as a superhero. So like, why not have the person? If Rocky's truly okay with Justin taking over, why not have Rocky be the mentor? Especially in those moments where Justin is kind of left alone or left on the side and he's like, okay, now what do I do? I don't have Tommy to lead me. I don't have, the older people around. So why not have someone to actually mentor him in those moments? And Rocky was also thrown into being a ranger, having to deal with a new team, having to deal with new powers he didn't understand. So Justin and him could relate to that. So I went with, like I said, a bit of a dick move, but I feel like it could
it
work.
could work. I really do. I feel like it really could work because, like you said, if Rocky's truly okay with Justin taking his place, he would be more than willing to mentor him as a Rain. Be like, okay, I've been in your shoes. You took my spot, so let me teach you what I've learned up to the point that you just started.
Yeah. Okay. Let's switch to a girl. Let's go with Aisha.
Aisha. Now this one I actually bounced between like 3 different characters for her, and I settled on one that you might not care too much for, but I think it works. Okay, so I went with RPM Series Black, Dylan.
Why? What? Why? Why? Why?
Why haven't you subscribed? Subscribe right now and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a weekly upload on the 3 Ranger Bros Studios channel every single Tuesday. New video. Subscribe. Come on. We're waiting for you.
Okay. Ashley's, light bubbliness, her spirit meets Dylan's darkness. So, he could help her heal or she could help him heal, help him learn to be more kind and more of a team player. She's very good with emotions and reading people. So I felt like she could help him calm down and be more normal.
Yeah, no, it actually makes a lot of sense. Actually, I love Dylan. He's a great character. He's my favorite RPM. And I feel like because he's, well, I don't want to say he's a cyborg because technically speaking he is, but he's always gone with the whole, RPM plays him as the broody, masculine, uh, he's the hot boy that everybody wants but no one can be with because he's emotionally attached to everyone else,
Yes.
sort of character, and so like I can kind of see it working. Aisha is loving and caring, kind, she stands up for what she believes in and she kicks some ass at the same time, so I feel like that'd be a good match. Oddly enough, we kind of went down similar routes but not exactly the same. So I had to research Tanya because like
Aisha?
Tanya's not in it as Aisha, not Tanya. That's why I had to Google it because I know more about Tanya than I do Aisha. So googling it, she's very charismatic, and it also states that she's like very into her music. She likes playing musical instruments and stuff, but also states that she actually puts her Power Ranger duties over everything else, and she ends up not doing schoolwork as much as she should, and all this thing. So I was like, okay, what other character could blend in with that? So I went with Levi, aka Gold Ninja Steel, because Levi ends up being a ranger. He goes on tour, but the tour gets cut short, and like he stops being a musician and kind of just stops being a normal person, overall. And I feel like Aisha could kind of like kind of teach him to balance things very well, because she's had to do that too. Balance being a musician artist, balance being a Power Ranger, and just balance having a family and being a general human being.
I thought you were gonna go with Yellow Dino, but the way you were talking, I was like, gonna go with Kira. But okay, I see where you went.
No, Kira does a pretty good job on balancing things, I
Yeah, she
think.
does.
Okay, let's go. Let's go with my favorite MMPR Ranger. Let's go with Adam.
Okay, so Adam Park, I kind of knew where I wanted to go with him right away. As soon as we started talking about this, as soon as we got the request, this one kind of stuck in my head. And that is Trent Mercer, Dino Thunder White Ranger. Both are very passionate about their talents. Adam being the martial artist, he's very passionate about his martial arts and stuff, and whereas Trent is very passionate about his art, I think they could definitely jive over that. I also think that Adam, he's been a ranger, he's been around for a while, he's dealt with multiple rangers that have been evil. He was there when Jason and Kim were turned evil. He worked under Tommy. Granted, this was after Tommy was evil, but he knew the stories. So I feel like he could help Trent really come to terms with the fact of where he was at as the evil ranger to where he is now as a teammate.
Yeah, I like it, because there's also Kat as well. He works with Kat, and she ends up being a little bad guy for a little while before she joins the team properly. So yeah, that definitely makes sense. I love Trent too. We're naming a lot of my favorite Rangers. Um, but yeah, Adam's class, and yeah, you're right. He's very passionate about working with the Rangers, helping everyone out. He's besides Tommy, I feel like he's the go-to character to bring back for like returning Rangers and specials and anniversaries and stuff. Other than Tommy, I feel like he's the second most used character when it comes to that sort of thing. But yeah, no, honestly, good choice. So with mine, I went with a Black Ranger who also has a reptilian like Zord. And I also went with a Black Ranger who also went green. And I feel like Adam could help this Ranger out with, kind of finding himself, training him in martial arts, because this character actually does have an episode where he learns a different type of fighting in an episode, and I feel like Adam could really help this character out. I went with Jake, aka Black Megaforce, and Green Super Megaforce. So Casey, Red Jungle Fury does teach him how to fight better with Spirit of the Snake. So that kind of gave the idea of Adam, because obviously Adam can train people. We've seen this sort of like mentorship before with like Carlos and stuff. And I feel like when it comes to going from green to black, Jake was very confused. Adam was confused, and Adam's been in the spot where he kind of feels a bit pointless. The whole "I'm a frog." He feels that bit. That, well, I'm just boring now. I'm just nobody. And Jake also kind of has that sort of like, well, Noah's the nerd. Troy's the leader. Da da da. What am I? And so I feel like Adam would be almost perfect to mentor Jake out of the other Rangers in MMPR.
Completely agree with that. That makes complete sense, especially the black to green thing, because Adam was the black MPR, and then all of a sudden he's green Zeo, and so yeah, I feel like he could be like, yeah, I get it, dude. I was there too.
I totally understand. Black to green makes no sense. Last but not least, everyone's favorite evil Pink Ranger. We should go with Kat or Catherine, but she goes by Kat.
Yeah, Cat. This one kind of stumped me up a little bit because of who we had already used for Kim, because we didn't want to double it up. So I was like, oh shoot, who am I going to go with? But then I thought of the perfect and fellow Pink Ranger, mind you, Jen Scott from Time Force. I feel like, Kat is open. She's loving, she's caring, she's nurturing because she wants to be a teacher, she's kind. Whereas Jen is very iron focused. She is the leader, she is tough. She has to be because she's a female leader. And I feel like Kat could help her open up and show her that it's okay to be soft. It's okay to be a girl sometimes, even in this man's world. And I really feel like she could have help Jen realize how she felt about Wes, because Kat kind of went through that as she was slowly falling for Tommy.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Especially the whole like love thing as well, because obviously we know that Kat and Tommy end up together, they end up having a kid together, and etc. etc. And that is one of the big story points going from the end of Time Force into the crossover with Wild Forces. Are they together? Are Jen and Wes not together? Like, will it ruin the time line? And all this time travel shenanigans. So yeah, that definitely makes sense. So I went with a ranger who's also evil. Spent a little time as a bad guy. And joined the team kind of like midway through, kind of like Cat. And they both kind of had to be, going through the motions of, am I accepted part of the team? I've done bad things. How could I be a Power Ranger because I've done bad things? And I feel like Cat could help this person kind of find not humanity, because they're not human, air quote, but they are. But like find their inner self. I went with Corone, the second pink Lost Galaxy Ranger.
Good shout.
Because like Corone obviously did have an episode where she had to fight her, evil air quote alter ego. She had to deal with the whole, she's the bad guy. Can she be a ranger? Her Power Ranger powers are thrusted onto her, just like Kat was. She wasn't gonna be a ranger, and Kim was like, "Hey, take my coin," sort of things. They've both been in not the same position, because obviously we saw Corona as the bad guy way more than we did Kat, but they've both been in very similar positions in that front. And Corona's a bit of a hard ass. She's a bit of a tough nut to crack. She doesn't get to be a woman, or she doesn't get to be girly of any kind. And I feel like Kat's very gentle, loving. She loves diving and swimming. She gets into ballet. She does ballet, martial arts, and she also loves kids and things. I feel like that sort of like mixture of different emotions and her natural kind of like self projection could definitely teach Corona a few things about just breaking her walls down, working with the team, finding her true self.
Agreed. Completely, utterly agreed. Those are some really good shouts on your side, man. I'm just saying.
Why, thank you. But no, I agree with everyone that we mentioned. I feel like MMPR, because they've been around the longest, I feel like it's actually pretty easy to match them with other characters. But yeah, honestly, I feel like when it comes to this sort of video, I think these are really fun. But again, this video was actually, requested. And we do take requests, and we do like it when people are like, hey, can you do, this? So we definitely take requests on board. So quickly just gonna find the person's name so I know exactly who the person is. Big shout out to Jordan James 9836 for the request of a part 2, because obviously there are more MMPR Rangers. And yeah, if there's another team of Rangers that people want us to kind of dissect and do stuff with, we're happy to do that. But yeah, I feel like we did a pretty good job there.
I think we did. I'm quite happy with our choices.
And there you have it, folks, another video from us. Just want to say once again, thank you very much for tuning in to the Three Ranger Bros. We managed to get 70 odd subscribers within our first year, which is fantastic. We're going to try and hit 100 subscribers within 2026, so do of course hit that subscribe button if you're new. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss a Tuesday weekly upload, and of course, like I said, there's extra content sprinkled in there as well. Just let you know, we do have a TikTok account which is under the same name, the 300 Bros Studios, which is where, of course, our shorts go to, as well as some other content as updates and things like that. Also, we do have a second channel called the 3 Ranger Bros Library, which is where our collective collaborative audio dramas go to. We actually started off creating a story together when we first formed the 300 Bros called Power Rangers Global. That's on the channel. You can listen to all of season 1 there. We also have got 3 storylines now on the go: Power Rangers Global, Marvel's Future X-Men, and the 3 Bros Amongst the Stars, with original characters within worlds. It's a lot of fun. We're all making our own characters. We're all collaborative on the storyline. We're all voice acting, and I am the one who writes and narrates, and it's a fun time. Also, deep dives go on that channel too, where me and one of the other 2 bros will deep dive some of the older storylines that we've made individually and stuff, and kind of talk about our process. We talk about us writing, us editing and things, and it's a fun time looking back on some of the older storylines that we've uploaded over the years. So that being said, thank you all for watching. Go check out everything that I just mentioned. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss another video. We do love you all, roar of passion, and we shall see you guys in the next one. Bye.